Today we're taking a look at a luxury sedan without the luxury price. It's called the 300S and it's from Chrysler. Now, one of the best reasons to pick the 300S over the standard 300C is what's under here. Yeah, it's a 3.6-liter Pentastar V6, but whereas the standard 300C only gets 292 horsepower, this one's been upgraded to 300. It's connected to a TorqueFlite 8-speed automatic transmission, and in this particular car, it's powering the rear wheels. All-wheel drive is also available. Now, because this is the 300S model, that means it also has sport suspension. We'll see what that means on the road in a little bit. So can this 300S provide white-collar level luxury at blue-collar pricing? Let's take a look. Here in the back seat, there is a ton of room, which is probably not too surprising since this is a rather large sedan. I get my own little map light up here, and I get this really nice stitching on this leather upholstery. It's actually very nice. And better yet, there are two USB sockets back here for charging iPads or phones. This is, of course, a big ol' American sedan, so therefore, you would expect it to have a big ol' American trunk. And it does. Not only does it have a lot of room, it also has Beats by Dre audio. Yeah. And where most cars today seem to be giving you a fix-a-flat kit, this car gives you a full-size spare. You'll also notice the battery is back here to even out weight distribution. That's a nice performance enhancement there. Once inside this 300S, we're greeted with a near luxury interior. Actually, these seats, super comfortable. They're stitched with contrast stitching, which looks very nice. The steering wheel carries that contrast stitching theme over with really nice, luxurious leather wrapping it. Oh, that's actually really nice. I like that. So let's go ahead and start it up with a simple push button. Turn down sound so we don't have to pay royalties. Okay, and the first thing we're greeted with here is a very large display. Now, this is the trademark Dodge Chrysler display, and it is really one of the best things on the market right now. You have really easy to navigate maps. That map very quickly updates. You can run your aircon up here, or you can run it down here. Very simple dial, really nice rubberized texture on the dial there, very nice. And then of course we can do radio and media, and it has apps along with a 3G hotspot. It's pretty sweet. Down below here we have the rotary transmission dial. This is like straight out of a Jaguar. They have this very similar rotary dial. We go park, reverse, neutral, drive, and on the right is an S for sport. If I click on that, it puts the transmission into sport mode, which means it'll hold gears longer and rev the engine higher. It'll also improve throttle response. If I hit the sport button up here, then I also get a tighter steering rack. Yes, and that makes this car the sportiest 300 ever. Now, the gauge cluster is very cool. It has a tack on the left, it has a big speedo on the right, and in the middle is a multi-function color display. And it uses really clear, concise icons. I really don't like it when people get so fancy with the displays you don't know what's going on. This one, clear, concise, and it looks great. Because this is the S, it has this contrasting texture down here. And then you have a really nice slot here that is really good for sticking an iPhone. Further back, we have cup holders that are illuminated. And in the elbow rest, we have here an auxiliary, USB, and an SD card slot for playing my tunes. It also has a 12-volt DC, and more importantly, it has plenty of room. Because this is a Chrysler product, it has radio controls on the back of the steering wheel, and it also, because this is the S, has paddle shifters. So you can get your revs on while driving, which is pretty sweet. So the 300S starts at just under $35,000, which really, for the amount of car you're getting, that's an incredible price. But this car does have one option, and that is the GPS upgrade. That brings the price, including destination, at just under $37,000. You end up with a car that is, quite frankly, very comparable to an Audi or a BMW, but for $10,000 less. Nice. Well done, Chrysler. So let's stop talking about it. Let's start driving it.
For 2015, the 300S gets new front and rear treatments, but they look really great. With the blacked out styling, Chrysler is really pushing the gangster look to a new level. And true to type, this large sedan can really move when you want it to. Throttle response is quick, and the firmer S suspension really helps it hold the corners. The standard 8-speed automatic transmission is surprisingly competent, with every shift quick and smooth. Though we opted for the sport-enhanced V6 in this test car, the 300S is also available with a 363 horsepower, 5.7-liter Hemi V8. But if you go big under the hood, look for economy to drop, from the 19 city and 31 highway down to 16 city and 25 highway. If you're commuting, the V6 is definitely the better choice. Though there are plenty of sedans to choose from in this segment, none of them will surprise you quite like the Chrysler 300S. For more information on the Chrysler 300 family, visit AutoNation.com. I'm Ryan Douthit. Thanks for watching.